Good afternoon, sir. Before I move on with the question, let me begin by saying that it was such a wonderful afternoon or wonderful morning, I should rather say. And I'm certain the gathering here is totally in awe of you. And it is indeed such a privilege to have you here, sir. And I'm certain you're one of the best things happen to our school. I myself, I manage events here in the school, and I'm a social science teacher. And I have a lot of things to take back to my social science classroom. Thank you so much for that, sir. Moving on to the question, I believe that every individual has its own, her or his own choices and perspectives. But perhaps society survives on certain cohesiveness. I don't know whether we'd call it bonding or bondage, provided by the community. Could you please comment on the conflict a person may experience between the choices he or she might have to make on his individual perspective versus the collective outlook on the society?
Oh, I think this is a very important one. We have seen this kind of a conflict for a long, long time. And often those conflicts also led to violence. What is my choice? And what does the society want me to do? Let me bring in the third one. The third one is truth. Irrespective of what you think and I think, there is something, some kind of a truth also, isn't it? For instance, for a long time, this world thought Earth was flat. Was it flat? And somebody who said Earth is not flat, what happened to him and those people? They were tortured. They were harassed. That is what the society wanted. But, you discovered that that is not the right thing, and then you entered into a conflict. It is very well to say that let everybody, because everybody is saying Earth is flat, why should I stick out my neck out? Let me also say yes. As I say, what do I lose? I'll have a comfortable life. But then, progress in this world was made possible by these individuals who defied that kind of a oppressive consensus and said, no, that's not right. I'm sticking. So you have to negotiate this with a very critical mind. That is the reason why I told you about the donkey story. They tell you, they keep on telling you. And then they also oppress you if you deviate from it. But then, you need to have that conviction. And also have the courage to stand by that conviction. So, in order to have this kind of a conflict resolution between individual and the community, the only guiding factor is the truth. As our father has just said, logic.
Namaskaram, sir. My name is Jyoti, and I teach English here. I was very impressed by your by your talk. Lots of very topical points there. I'm totally with you when you say that India's ethos lies in the phrase Vasudeva Kudumbakam. That is probably what has kept Indian civilization intact the way it has over all these years. On the other hand, we also have a world where, to borrow a phrase from Charles Darwin, survival is the fittest has worked. If you look at how civilizations have shaped up in the New World, in colonial countries, it appears that sometimes it is good guys end up last. Now, how can we, as a very old country, who stick very steadily to the motto of Vasudeva Kudumbakam, go forward in this world when obviously good guys don't always last? Thank you.
Jyoti ma'am has asked me a very difficult question. You know, I must take this opportunity to tell you something about this Vasudeva Kutumbakam. You know, it is from one of the Upanishads called Mahopanishad. You know, it is not what the publicity talks about. The Upanishad doesn't say Vasudeva Kutumbakam. If you have patience, I'll give you what exactly it says. It says, Ayam Nijaha. Paro Veti Ganana Laguchetasam. Udara Chiritanam Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It means you are mine, I am Nijaha. Paraha. You are not mine, you are Para. You are mine, you are Para. This is the thinking of Laghu Chetasam. This is the thinking of Laghu, small minds. Udara Chiritanam. Those who have Udara. Udara is the larger. Those who have larger perspective, larger heart, or larger character. Charita is character. Udara Chiritanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. For small minds, it is you are mine and you are not mine. For people who have the larger perspective and character, liberal character, for them, the entire world is one family. So it is telling you who thinks what. It doesn't say for every Indian Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. No. He says, look, for people who have larger liberal mindset, world is one. And people who think small, who have small minds, for them, some people are theirs, some people are ours. Today what we see is that people with small minds who are sitting in big places, they say that, you know, you are mine and you are not mine. Okay? Having said that, you know, again, I have to clarify this. Nobody told us, not even Darwin, that survival of the fittest. It's become popular like that because you see, when you like this, like Udarajiritarnam. When you want to simplify things, you do this. The one which survived is called fittest. Isn't it? Because, you see, how do you call a species fit? Because it survived. In logic, what do you call this? It is not, you don't judge somebody, this is a fit species and it will survive. No. Just because it survived, you call it fit. Okay. Having said that, only those species which have cooperated with each other in their long process of evolution have survived. Which means only those species which have learned to give and take, cooperate with each other, have survived. Otherwise, actually on this planet Earth, there are so many science students here, on this planet Earth, it is so difficult for any organism to survive, isn't it? Because everything on this planet is inimical to life. And there are so many, instances of extinction, mass extinctions. Species that have survived for thousands of years have disappeared in an instant. Why? Because they have not adapted themselves, they have not cooperated themselves with each other. They have not learned, like I told you about the monkey and the hat merchant. They have not learned things. Human being is the weakest. When you compare, can you handle a tiger? You can't handle a tiger. You can't handle a dog. Physically, can you? You can't. You can't handle a goat. Leave alone lion, tigers and all that. Leave alone. But we are able to survive only because we cooperate. And through cooperation, we have been able to develop tools. And the first tool was a weapon. And if you reflect, it is only human being which can kill another organism from a distance. Every other species will have to go physically engage. But sitting here, I can throw a spear and kill. Now, of course, I can fire. All this has come about by cooperation, communication, give and take. Now, let's bring these two elements together. This kind of a survival has fostered so much of cooperation. But when you lose sight of the larger picture, you're also causing a lot of damage to the planet which is hosting you. If you think that my survival is the most important thing, irrespective of everybody, that might give you a sense of achievement in the short term. And people might say that, look, survival of the fittest. But then that particular path of survival eventually will destroy the entire planet, and that is what is happening, isn't it? Okay. We all feel that American society is a very powerful society, a very fit society, because it is prosperous, it's wealthy. And it's surviving, it's thriving. And society like, India or Bangladesh or Pakistan, these are weak societies. And, they are going to gobble us up. But let's think in a larger perspective. If everybody on this planet will have to live like an American, one earth is not enough. Do you know that? Have you heard of this? You need how many earths? A number of earths, maybe 100. If everybody wants to attain the standard of living and the consumption which now you see in America, if everybody in India also, in China also, in Bangladesh also, in Pakistan also, in Latin America, in Africa, everybody wants to live like that, one earth is not enough. Ultimately, it would lead to another mass extinction. So, the survival of the fittest doesn't suit our circumstances in the long run. In the short run, yes.
Sir, I have just a very simple question. All the religions are speaking of love. The religions are based on love. The religions speak of love. The religions preach love. We have the Hinduism, we have Islam, we have Buddhism, we have all the major religions. And on the other side of the court, we have the Taliban, we have the Iranian political Islam, we have the political Hindutva, we have the Zionism, even the Buddhism, who cannot even dream of even killing a mosquito, have the Rohingyan experience, an example. So the religions always are based on love and mercy and kindness. And when the religious fanatics or the fundamentalists spread hatred among the people, we can understand they have their agendas. But how do the ordinary men, the followers of the religion, easily go like the rats who went behind the Pied Piper when the philosophy of hatred is being spread across the religion, across the globe? Sir, I am K.C. Shaijal. I discuss history with the students of this school.
K.C.
Shaijal. Shaijal. Sir.
Thank you very much. I'll come to your question, Shaijal. Before that, I want to support what you said about the boys and girls. They're wonderful. If you see a sculpture, there is a saying, Silpihi dukkhena Silpam Dukhitaha. Silpihi Pujena, Silpam Pujitaha. If the Silpi, you know what is a Silpi? If the Shilpi is unhappy, the Shilpam also looks unhappy. If the Shilpi is looked after well, is respected, the Shilpam also looks respectful and happy. So when you see happy children in a school, that means the teachers are happy. That means the teachers are respected. That means the teachers are well looked after and given respect. Otherwise the children would not be, well behaved or honorable and happy. If they are happy, honorable and well behaved, that shows how honorable, well behaved and respected the teachers are. Isn't it? So I could see from the children's faces how wonderful their teachers are and their institution is. Shaijal, you put me in a great difficulty. I don't want to speak ill about religions. But in this world, if you look at history, nothing has caused so much of bloodshed as religion. All of them say peace. But what kind of bloodshed, what kind of violence that religions have unleashed in the name of religion. I'm not saying religions per se. When a religion becomes a handmaiden or a tool for unscrupulous fellows, who use religion for their political purposes, in order to satisfy their territorial ambitions, in order to fulfill their desire to dominate other people, then there is a problem. Till now, we had problems because of religion. From now onwards, maybe we'll have problems with science. We already have problems with science, isn't it? It's so great that you have nanotechnology. It's equally destructive when nuclear power is unleashed and cause immense destruction. This planet can be exploded, bombed hundreds of times with the kind of nuclear weapons that we have today, which was given to us by the so-called science, isn't it? So it all depends on the knife, whether it is in the hand of a surgeon or in the hand of a murderer. If you give the knife to a murderer, he'll kill you. If you give it to a surgeon, he'll do the surgery and cure you, isn't it? So killing and curing, both are done by the knife. Both are done by the religion. You can, preach universal values, but also incite people to kill each other. And those people who incite large groups of people to kill each other, are they really religious? They're not. I can tell you one thing, that people who, preach so much of violence in the name of religion, they hardly go to the church, they hardly go to temple, they hardly go to mosque. They don't pray. They have no belief in this. They don't even believe in God. Somebody told me once, when we were talking about conversions and all that in a gathering, a very wise man told me that, look, conversion is what? From a non-believer to believer is a conversion. Not believing this God and then changing over to that God. That is not conversion, isn't it? So actual conversion has to happen from non-believer to believer, whatever you believe. I'm an atheist. You make me an atheist, that's conversion. But I want to, pray this God. No, don't pray that God. Pray this God. Is that conversion? It's not conversion. It is defection. Or whatever. Isn't it? So, if you lose sight of that kind of a broader perspective and make religion, make science subordinate to your desire to dominate, to enslave people. All these religions have sanctioned slavery. In our great land, all this great religion that people talk about today, it has sanctioned untouchability. Is that religion? But we are told that is religion. So I have a tendency to take all these religions with a pinch of salt.
Good afternoon, sir. Actually, this is not a question. This is a gratitude from all of our sides for your very presence. As you all know, a few good words don't just make your day, but they also give the sense of belonging and confidence to take the next big step forward. So this day is made good with the presence and words of Dr. Parakala Prabhakar, Indian political economist. Sir, your words, thoughts, ideas have surely moved us students' thoughts, and they'll surely develop a capacity to think independently. Thank you, sir, for your presence and insights. Your research and analysis have provided us with the understanding to the forces that drive our nation. Thank you, sir, for the effort in addressing our students' questions and shedding light with your wisdom, and your passion is truly inspiring to us. Thank you, sir, for your very presence. Your very presence is truly motivating.